John Kasich is with our Major Garrett right now. Major, go ahead. I see that you're with Governor Kasich.
Yes, Governor Kasich's just approached, so I want to ask you your impressions of the debate. Donald Trump is dominating the online polls. He's dominating the Twitter conversation. What does that tell you, and how do you feel you worked your way into that conversation?
Listen, I had the third most amount of time tonight, which was great, and I think I showed what it means to be an executive, that I can run the country, whether it is on balancing budgets, creating jobs, cutting taxes, the issues of health care. I had the substantive answer on health care. And then when we finally turned to foreign affairs, I mean, whether it's Libya, North Korea, Syria, ISIS, rebuilding the Pentagon, I really feel that tonight I was able to project what it means to be an executive and what it means to be president. And I think these polls sometimes react to the spin-ups, but what I find is that at the end, after the dust settles, people begin to say, who is it that can run the country? And I'm very pleased with how it went tonight.
I've heard you say these debates are a terrible way to pick a president. Sounds like you'd like another debate like tonight.
Well, look, I think the last 4 or 5 have been very good. And look, who would have thought I'd be the last governor standing? We're raising money, we're getting more support all the time, and at some point this race is going to head north, and particularly going to head up to Ohio. So, look, I think I just have to keep doing what I'm doing. Our crowds are, becoming really, really big, and I'm very pleased with where we are, and I'm really happy with what happened tonight.
Let me ask you about your strategy going in. Clearly there was a concerted effort by Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz to try to raise issues they thought might disqualify Donald Trump, or if not disqualify him, raise new doubts. You did not, for the large part of the evening, join in on that. Why? And do you think there was anything about the issues Rubio and Cruz raised against Trump that matter?
I really didn't pay that much attention to those things, his personal back and forth. At some point I was like, can somebody get control of this thing? It was, again, like almost a demolition derby. When I have gone out across the country, I have people coming up to me and saying, we cannot tell you how much we appreciate that you're the adult in the room, that you're the grown-up, that you're positive, and I hope to be able to be that way for a long time, and we'll see what happens. If they want to pick on me, I'm not going to be a
right.
marshmallow, but I'm not worried about that now.
Right, but you're a realist as well. I've known you since the early 1990s. You're not someone who tells yourself fiction, and you don't operate in a world of unreality.
Correct.
And the reality is Trump is here and you're here.
But that's now.
And something's going to have to happen. What has to happen?
We have.
And why weren't you swinging to make it happen tonight?
Oh, I think I did.
Okay.
I think I penetrated and sent a message to people around the country about the fact that I'm qualified to be president of the United States. And all this back and forth right now, look, at some point it will all begin to settle. If I get into a head-to-head against Donald Trump in the state of Ohio, I beat him by 18 points. The USA Today has me beating Hillary Clinton more than anybody else in the field. And Democrats are very concerned because of my ability to get crossover votes, including Hispanics, because of my position on immigration, which is the most sensible and reasonable position that we can have as we resolve this issue. No, I think it's going to be fine, and I'm looking forward to going head-to-head with Donald, and then we'll be able to have a discussion, maybe not about who built his building, but about what his real policies are.
And if after Super Tuesday you don't finish ahead of Cruz or Rubio, how can you have a conversation with Republicans saying, hey, it's got to be me, not those two?
Well, because I'm going to win in Ohio.
We're staying into Ohio for sure, no matter what.
We're raising money. We have people coming. Why would I get out? If I drop out, he's assured of winning Ohio. Trump is. Yeah, of course he is. And I believe the field's going to narrow, and I think at some point it'll be a two-man race. And look, I am a realist. And I was a realist when everybody said he wouldn't get in, he wouldn't ever raise the money, he wouldn't get to New Hampshire, he wouldn't get out of the South. That's all that is false. I'm still standing. I'm the last governor in the race and the one who's most qualified to be president.
Governor Kasich, good to see you.
Thank you.
See you down the road.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, Major Garrett there. Yes. So Major.
We just set him up here and knock him down. That's what we do.
I know. We really another fascinating dynamic. I mean, listening to your, prodding of his situation, when you do look at the poll numbers, it really does not look good for Governor Kasich at this point. But it seems as though he really does believe he can hold on despite his numbers.
Yeah, look, and there is a reason for him to make this case because he has made it consistently. He is right about this. There was a time earlier in this campaign when we can all remember John Kasich standing on the stage and saying, Trump is disqualified, he's a total joke, no one should take him seriously. That did not work for John Kasich at all. He adapted a different strategy, one that was basically going to say, you know what, I'm going to describe what I want to do, I'm going to describe my approach to politics, I'm going to put my arms literally and figuratively around the Republican electorate and see if they respond. And guess what? For months, nobody cared. Nobody paid attention to John Kasich at all. Through all of the fall, October, November, December, even into January, John Kasich was an asterisk. And then he caught on in New Hampshire, and that gave him some vitality, not only in terms of fundraising, but in terms of visibility and name recognition. And John Kasich can look around and say, you know what, I have just a little bit fewer delegates than Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz. They both have 17. He has slightly less than that. And Trump is up at 80. Okay, so he's way ahead. I'm sort of just behind Rubio and Cruz, and I'm not getting out. Now, all that is on the plus side of the Kasich argument. But there's no sign he's going to do well, and by well, I mean better than fourth, anywhere on Super Tuesday. He might luck into a second or third, maybe in Vermont or Massachusetts, possibly. But even then, are you seriously going to say to Republican voters, well, I came in second in Vermont and maybe third in Massachusetts, and now that's going to catapult me into relevance? And waiting to Ohio is a long time to wait. There's a lot of media coverage, a lot of checkbooks that are not going to get open for you just to get to Ohio. And then you basically have to say, if I don't win my state and win by a lot, then I'm out of it. So the math does not add up well for John Kasich right now, but he is undeterred. And that is a significant factor in this race. If he is undeterred, that means this race doesn't consolidate. That means it's still Rubio, Cruz, and Kasich at one level or another, mathematically dividing up the vote that might otherwise be all consolidated around one candidate against Donald Trump. So his sense of optimism or brio about his chances, whether they're fanciful or not, matters in that context, and it matters a great deal.